Hello? Hello, hello. I like to see my face in there. That's cool. The face isn't cool, but the technology, god dang, I never thought I'd live to see my face. Anyway, this is Sir David the Bard, coming to you out of Kangaroo City here down in Australia, down under. The geese, what were they? Pelicans. The pelicans just flew into, I think it's Uri Lake, like 10 million of them flew in, and the kangaroos are jumping, and so, you know, life is good down here. It's good. You know what I want to talk about today? I've been thinking about this because I revealed to you that I have a daughter who's now, should be 15 next month, who's a lesbian, who's come out to us and said, I'm a lesbian, I don't care. Big deal, I don't care. But then she started to pick up some trash friends and kids that looked like they were right out of jail, and I couldn't get her away. Computers and iPhones, I'm telling you, if you don't have control of your kids, I just set a computer up for Allison. She's going to be 11. Got her own computer. They can look up whatever they want. iPhones, they can talk to each other. You parents are raising children in a very different world. Now, Abigail is down living with my son, my good son. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any other good sons. No, I don't. It's just one, and his wonderful wife, and they have 3 little kids. And they took Abigail, because Abigail had one foot on an airplane out of Australia here to the Philippines. She needs a shock. You know, I ran residential treatment centers for 30 years when I was working. And I know these kids very, very well, and until you isolate them, put them in jail, Velcro them to the wall, back in the old days, you know, we could slam them against the wall, but nowadays, all you do is, please, child, behave, please, and if you don't say please long enough, they dial 911, and you've got a social worker in your life the rest of your life. It's a different world. In some ways, it's good. Some kids were being abused, and they should call. But social workers don't have anything to do. So if they get a call that's a farce, they still come out and do all the paperwork and make you look like shit as the parent. One reason I run video cameras all through my house is anyone can pull up those cameras and say, look at the mom, look at the dad, look at the kid. God, I'd kill that kid. Video cameras don't lie. And in my old age, I'm finding that as I'm dealing with difficult kids, just the one right now, I want that video camera. And I've spotted, before Abigail, as we say, went down the road, I spotted her hiding cameras and iPhones under her sister's mattress. That's where I used to put the Playboys, but anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're saying here. But she wasn't allowed to have an iPhone, and wasn't allowed to be with her friends, and wasn't allowed to be on the damn computer. She was listening to music. I'm telling you, raunchy, F this, F that, your mother. Oh my God, it was terrible. And I told her, don't listen to that music, but, you know, she's blasting it through the whole house. And so, anyway, I caught her on video camera, hiding her phone. Well, we've taken her phone away from her, so we didn't know, you know, what is that phone? So I went in and got the phone, and I said, what's the deal here? Did you buy another phone? She says, well, no, that's my friend's phone. Don't call the social workers, people. Don't call them. I got a hammer. I never touched the kid with a hammer, but me and the cell phone that was her friend had a little discussion. Anyway, I handed it back to her. I don't remember how many pieces it was, but I said, tell your friend you were a little careless with your cell phone. Well, we drug tested her. She's okay that way. She had no drugs in her system at all, but ugliness in her system, it came up positive. So anyway, sometimes other people can reach kids at certain ages. That's not humiliating, and that's not a failure. I know several families, at least 5, that have, in fact, I was one of them. My dad couldn't raise Randy. I was married, and I had one kid, and I was living in a one-bedroom trailer in Provo when I was at BYU. And Randy was a total asshole in California, and my parents sent Randy to me. Like, we had, he slept on the couch for a little while, and I helped him get his own trailer, and now he's in the Philippines living under a rock. But anyway, I'm not a very good teacher. We can all see that. Anyway, here's what I want to talk about. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit from my education. I hope it doesn't bore too many people. But it's passive aggressive behavior. Now, you and I know what passive is. When you say to a child, would you please get up and do the dishes? And the child just lays there. Now, we've all seen that. And then we say, would you please go do the dishes? It's going to take an atomic bomb, okay? That is passive. They don't do anything. Or they do it very slow. I'm doing the dishes. That is very slow. So that's passive. So we all know what passive behavior is. Now, we all know what aggressive behavior is. I'm not going to name any names, but when children chase you with a knife in their hand, going like this, that's considered aggressive behavior. Now, because I've been in residential treatment all my life, I should have been in residential treatment all my life. I supervise, so I know when kids chase you with knives or they hold guns on you, I have some skills and some talents. I run like hell. That's my skill and my talent. But anyway, that's aggressive. So you know, and I know what aggressive and passive behaviors are. Now, there's something much more complex, and I'm going to tell you this a little bit now from my education and background. There's passive aggressive behavior. Now, you've heard that. We've all heard that this person is being passive aggressive. What does that mean? Yeah, I'm going to come back to that definition in just a second. Now, here's what I want you to know. Allison, my 11-year-old, she was ADHD. She was on methamphetamines from the doctor, one capsule a day from 8 till 3 to get her through school, and then from 3 till 8, we just put up with her. We've had to restrain her several times, and we've had some serious, not in school, but some serious in-home problems with that child. Well, I took her to the doctor again, and he said, well, let's double the medication, do an 8 to 3 and a 3 to 9. And I said, okay. So she's doubled capsuled amphetamines, and she calmed down. She calmed down pretty well. When the amphetamine wore off, the little devil on her shoulder started beating the other angel on the shoulder, and you could see you wanted to get her in bed before she throws the bed out the window. All right. Now, my sweet wife, Mercy, she's a Philippine wife, and they're very strict in the Philippines. When Abigail came out as a lesbian, oh my God, my wife, she had one foot going back to the Philippines. She's a Mormon. They hate lesbians, and they know that it's not a gene, and they're not born that way. All of them see pictures, and now they want to be a lesbian. Well, there's the intelligent level, folks. Anyway, I forgot where I was. Anyway, Abigail is passive aggressive. Now, just because she chases me with knives doesn't mean that she's an aggressive child. It just means she's frustrated. It's kind of like a girl on her period. When she chases you with her car to run you over, you go, yeah, she's just having her period. Anyway, passive aggressive is very, very difficult to spot and to deal with. Here's some of the things that a passive aggressive person does, and I'm telling you right now, they're toxic. If you can't change them from passive aggressive, you're going to have a miserable life. If you got a passive-aggressive husband or wife, you're living in shitville. I'm not passive or aggressive. I try to stay down the middle. I'm probably a little more aggressive because someone said, "Are you really bipolar?" Yeah. It reminds me of a psychiatrist who said to me when I went in, he said, "Well, being bipolar, have you found that it's interfered with your life?" I looked at him and said, "Where'd you get your license?" And I walked right out of his office. Anyway, if you have a child or you have a mate who's passive-aggressive, you got shit to deal with every day. Now here's what a passive-aggressive child does. I would say, it's your turn, go in and do the dishes. And the passive-aggressive child lays there. Now she's passive. She's passive right there. And you go in there the 16th time and you say, "Would you go out and do the damn dishes?" Yeah, the child gets up slow and moves like molasses. She goes, "I hate you. You're mean. You're not my real dad." Now there's the aggressive. The passive and aggressive will switch back and forth, and sometimes so quickly you can't spot it. You can't spot it. So she goes out and she's doing the dishes. Okay? So pretty soon you hear bang, 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 like a truck is going through the living room dishwasher, or through the living room and into the dishwasher. So you say to the child, "What are you doing?" And then they go passive. "I'm doing the dishes just like you told me to do." "So do you have to make that much noise?" I go, "Yes." "Nobody else makes that noise." "Well, I do." And so you go back in your room and it gets worse. You know, it's kind of like a bomb in Hiroshima going off in your kitchen. They'll shift back and forth, back and forth. Now, I was thinking of a funny thing. This has not happened in my family yet. But, you know, my lesbian girl, I kept telling her, you know, you're going to dress like a girl whether you're a lesbian or not. I don't give a rat's ass. When you're here in this house, we have rules. If you're wearing a vagina, you wear a dress, and you wear blouses, and you wear a bra. You dress like a girl. Well, this is passive-aggressive. Classic passive-aggressive. So she comes in, and she comes in the bedroom where I'm sitting, where I'm always sitting, and her boobs are gone. I go, "Jeez, did she have an operation? What happened?" Not that I was looking at her boobs, but, you know, when you see a normal human being for years and years, and suddenly their head's gone, or two arms are gone, or two boobs are gone, you go, "Whoa, the boobs are gone." So I said, "What are you doing?" She says, "Well, you said I had to wear a bra. Here you go. Here's this toxic, passive-aggressive." And I said, "Are you wearing your sports bra?" "Yes. I'm crushing my boobs so that lesbians will see me with no boobs." I said, "You told me to wear a bra." Well, if I don't tell her what color it is, what size it should be, you know, and and she can turn it around and wear it on her back. "Dad, I'm doing what you told me to do. I'm a good child." Well, it's the same way with wearing garments. When I wrap garments on my head like a Sunni warrior, I'm wearing my garments, but they didn't like that at church. So I was being a passive-aggressive. So how do you handle, how do you handle passive-aggressive? Well, I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you, I have 30 years experience. I have some things that work and some things that don't work. Now let me digress again here. As soon as Abigail left our family, there's not one methamphetamine that Allison has taken. It's been 2 months or more. She used to be a monster. I have never in all the years I've dealt with thousands of ADHD and bipolar and borderline kids and whatever, I've never seen that miracle where suddenly she's not ADHD anymore. She cleans her room, she gets medication, she watches TV appropriately, controls the sound, in fact, I just set a computer up for her today in her room, and I took the video camera out of her room. I said, you've earned it. You're not setting the house on fire anymore. You're doing what I tell you to do. You're a good kid. I don't need to photograph you constantly to make sure that this house doesn't catch on fire again. So she's smiling, happy, throws her arms around me, and she'll come in and she'll sit with me, and she brings her bear. Now, maybe this is part of the lesson. She used to have a bunny. Oh, she loved the bunny. The bunny was the most important thing. Well, one day, while Abigail was still here, we had to take Allison down in a restraint, and because she was dangerous. Good Lord! I mean, not just slamming doors, but throwing shit and screaming and whatever. So anyway, when we took her down, I decided to use a little bit of psychology and see if she could control those fits of anger. So I said to her, listen, why don't you get up, calm yourself down. If you don't, I'm going to throw your bunny in the trash can. I don't care. I hate you. I hate my parents. I'm going to call 911-822. I don't call whatever number you want. That camera has got you nailed right there. What you were doing while you're face down on the ground and your mother's sitting on your butt. Throw it away. I don't care. So I did. She gave me permission. So her love bunny went in the trash. Well, the kid was dumpster diving, but the dumpster man had already been here, so the bun bit the dust. Well, she sees herself as a little mother. And I said, well, gee, that wasn't very responsible. When you get angry, you don't take care of your kids, do you? Well, Abigail was still here, and after Abigail left, there were no need for meds anymore for Allison, and Allison now has the bear. She brings her bear in, and she'll sit on the arm of my chair and don't call social services. Allison and I have a pretty fun relationship. She dresses her bear in clothing, her clothing. So the bear has big, baggy pants and a baggy shirt, and she changes the bear's clothes every day. And the bear has a name, and it eats. And I've seen her sit out here with a little bottle, and she'll be bottle feeding the bear. Well, the bear calls me Grandpa, and that's okay because it's not my child; it's a bear from Yosemite. So anyway, when she leaves the room, sometimes she leaves her bear, and I hide it. Don't call social services. It's a game we play. I hide it. And then she comes in and she's looking all over for her bear, and she's going to me. She says, I know he's in here. And I found every place in the world to hide her bear. Let me tell you where I hid it yesterday. She was upstairs here in the office watching Netflix. And we have ceiling fans everywhere. And one of the ceiling fans I turned off and I could reach. And I slipped his clothes and his body onto the ceiling fan. But I didn't turn it on fast because I know he'd fly off and break a window. So I just turned it on once or twice slow. And then I said, Allison. She comes out. Here's her bear going around like a Disney ride. I love that kid. Oh, God, she climbed up the staircase, grabbed her bear, and I'm being punished now. I'm not allowed to play with the bear because it was on an amusement park ride. Well, Mercy used to yell and scream at Abigail, and Abigail would do it always just before Mercy had to go to work. So Abigail wouldn't get what she deserves because Mercy's got to yell at her and get all upset and all that adrenaline and then walk out the door and go to work. That pissed me off. That pissed me off. Now, my meds are pretty good. I don't yell and scream anymore and slam doors, and I put bears on ceiling fan. But that's mental illness, people. That's innocent mental illness. That's passive aggressive. So I found myself yelling and being upset. Now, I'm a quad bypass survivor. I've got bipolar, and I've got diabetes, and God, just open up the DSM-4 Revised and, pick out 19 pages, and I have all of those mental illnesses. Well, I had to sometimes sit down because my heart hurt. That it was killing me, literally killing me. And Mercy was under tremendous stress. She's never been kind to Allison until Abigail left. Allison got blamed for everything because Abigail said, "It wasn't me, it was Allison." And Mercy would believe Abigail and punish Allison. So this passive-aggressive behavior in a nuclear family is shit. Now, I feel good. My heart doesn't hurt. Now Mercy is cheerful and going off to work, and the baby is off methamphetamines. She's not ADHD. She was when her sister used to tease her incessantly. And these passive-aggressive kids, they don't use their mouth most of the time to be passive-aggressive because you can hear it. Now, when Abigail uses her mouth, and other kids, they grunt and they groan and they moan, and you can't hardly hear them. But the people they're terrorizing, they can hear them. It's kind of like gangsters. Gangsters don't go, "Well, I'm going to kill you." Police can pick that up on a radio or whatever. Okay, the gangster will go, "There it is. I'm going to kill you." And you're sitting in your chair in the back room, and the baby comes running in. My sister says she's going to kill me. She didn't say it. She communicated it, and then the big girl will come in and go, "I never said that. I never said that at all." That's why the video cameras. Because I can go back and say, right there, you see, you communicated that to the child. You're being passive-aggressive. So it basically has cut down, when Abigail was still here, a lot of the passive-aggressive behavior, because I had it all recorded. I can say, "See there, you're hitting your sister. See there, you made a big mess in the kitchen after she cleaned it up, and then you blamed her for it." So let me just sum up what I'm saying here. When you see a miracle of double capsules, I don't know what the milligrams were, of methamphetamines going into a 10 and an 8-year-old, that's a child that is very, very distressed. And you move her sister out of the house, and she throws her meds away. She's been a perfect child. Now, that's not making anything up. That, to me, is factual evidence that the stress that little girl was living under with her sister in the house is gone. And it was so stressful that the kid was ADHD, or at least showing all those symptoms of ADHD. She could never relax. She was totally disorganized, terrorized all the time that the sister was going to come and blame her for something. Then the mother comes in, and I would always say, "Well, the mother and the sister are ganging up on the baby," and I'd grab the baby, and they would say, "Well, you love the baby, but, you let her get away with crap." And I go, "Wait a minute, the child isn't doing all those things." But Abigail said she was. So, what do? You can try to change the passive-aggressive behavior, but once a child is 15, I'm telling you, you have probably a 90% statistic she's not going to change. She's a passive-aggressive person. And she can be so sweet when she wants something, money or transportation. She comes into me, "Oh, Dad," and she'll kiss me on the cheek, and she'll snuggle. As soon as I let her go with her friends, she's gone 7 or 8 hours. She doesn't call me to tell me where she is. It's midnight, 1 in the morning, and she comes back, and I say, "What the hell?" She goes, "Well, you didn't tell me when to come in." I said, I can't tell you everything. You know you have a curfew. You get off of work at 6 o'clock and you don't come home till 1 in the morning, and I don't know where you are? Well, here you go. Here's the passive. You didn't tell me. It's your fault. I say, okay, you're grounded. Go get your iPad and phone and computer and robots, whatever. Well, you're a terrible father. When I get enough money, I'm moving out of here. And I hope you get enough money soon. I hate you. Okay. You're not my dad. And I said, well, you're adopted, so you're really not my daughter either. And now that she's got what she wants, now she turns to the aggressive. Got nothing to lose. Be aggressive all night. And she wakes up in the morning, hi, Dad, hi. Never volunteers to do any work, never helps around the house unless she's forced to, and always around the little sister, just teasing the crap out of her. And I don't care what happens in my life. When I'm in charge of children, nobody is going to tease anybody. Every child has a right to grow up with good self-esteem, with talent and skills. We dumped all that on Abigail. She was the oldest child. Piano, dance, karate, track and field, basketball. Good Lord, we gave her everything she wanted, and she still came home and would be aggressive. Well, anyway, I just wanted to leave you with a presentation of passive-aggressive. Man, you got to spot it. It is hard to see, and you've got to get in a position where you're seeing it all the time, or you have some children in your family, or a husband or a wife, that is being abused. They're being abused, and they're taking meds. They're taking meds because this person is literally running the house, and you don't know when that aggressive or passive behavior is going to come up. Now, the last 2 vacations we took, Abigail, she was 14, she said, I don't want to go. I said, well, you're a bitch in the car. You know, you're teasing the baby all the time. It makes everybody uncomfortable, miserable. Well, then I'm not going to go. So that seems like cooperation. Until we find out that after the vacation, she used that time to hook up with her drug-addicted and prison inmate friends, and who knows what else. That's why I drug tested her. And thank God she did come through on the drug test negative, so that's great. But anyway, if you've got a passive-aggressive person in your life, you probably need to pick up a book, a psychology book, and learn a little bit about it. But I've got windows and mirrors everywhere in this house. I have video cameras everywhere. And when passive-aggressive people need to be supervised, I know how to do it. Now Allison has no cameras. She comes out in the public area, she has cameras, but she has her total privacy because now she's not ADHD, and she doesn't want me to tell anybody that she was ADHD. She's embarrassed and ashamed of that, but it wasn't ADHD. It was symptoms of ADHD. I probably diagnosed it, and the doctor diagnosed it wrong. It was stress that was coming from that passive-aggressive sister. So, anyway, if you got a child or a mate that is that, you need to get out of that by sending them somewhere else where passive-aggressive don't mean anything, like a deserted island. They can be as passive and aggressive to sharks, bears, and snakes as they want, but when it happens to humans, we go nuts because we don't see it. We don't know it's happening, and you know, our muscles tighten up and we're stressful, going, God, what's going to happen next? Psychologically, they're very dangerous people. Thanks.